I'm making this video for anyone who was not in class today, or if you were, but you need a little bit of reminder about what we did so that you can complete your homework. Then hopefully this will be of use to you. We're looking at two numbers, and we want to pull out the greatest common factor so we can factor these numbers and use the distributive property. So in the left-hand column, I have what I do with the numbers. In the right-hand column, why I am doing it. So I'm going to attempt to type along, and hopefully this is going to work. So let's see. I have 14 plus 21. First, I need to find the greatest common factor. And remember, the greatest common factor is the largest factor that is common to two numbers. So I'm looking at 14 and 21, and I'm thinking the largest factor of 14 and 21 is going to be 7. Okay, and you can prime factor this out if you want. There's a number of ways you can make a list. You can, whatever it is that you need to do to find the largest factor. So the factor for 14 and 21, I know that this is 7. Okay, so now over here, I'm going to put 7, and I'm going to take a look at 14. 7 times what number is 14? Well, that's 2. 7 times what number is 21? And that's 3. So first I pulled out the greatest common factor. Next, I look at the two original numbers to determine, well, original is not spelled very well, to determine what number times 7 is 14 and what number times 7 is 21. These are the factors that are placed inside of the parentheses. Okay, so now what am I going to do next with that? Spelling is not my strong suit. Parentheses. Okay, that's better. Now, after I do this, I'm going to take a look at, well, I can either add 2 and 3 to get 5, or I can distribute the 7. And that's what I want to do. This right here tells me 7 times 2 plus 3. So I'm now going to do 7 times 2 plus 7 times 3. And what I'm doing is distributing the 7 to the two numbers inside of the parentheses. I'm going to multiply these terms. And I see that 7 times 2 is 14, plus 7 times 3 is 21, and 14 plus 21 is 25. I can also take a look at, to double check, 7 times 2 plus 3. Well, 2 plus 3 is, 35 would be better. 2 plus 3 is 5. So that's going to be 7 times 5, and 7 times 5 is 35. Okay, so I'm going to add the numbers to get 35, and I'm going to add numbers inside of parentheses, then multiply by 7 to get 35. And I get the same answer both ways. So I can take the 14 and the 21, break them into factors, or find the greatest common factor and find the remaining factors, multiply them, and see that I get back 14 plus 21, and that's 35. I can add 2 plus 3, which is 5, multiply 7 times 5, and I still get 35. So using the distributive property and the GCF allows me to break numbers apart, factor them out. Now, the reason that this is important, because you may be looking at this and saying, really? Seriously, Mrs. Judd? I could just add 14 plus 21. I'm going to go through all this work? But keep in mind, we talked about this is actually giving you the foundation for algebra. When you need to factor out polynomials, this gives you that practice of taking a look at numbers that need to be factored out, finding the greatest common factor, pulling those factors out, and being able to solve more complicated equations. So I know that you can add 14 and 21 and get 35 with no problem, but we're practicing with easier numbers to work with to build that mindset and to build that skill set that you're going to need for more advanced algebra. Okay, so that's the reason why we do that. So now let's take a look at 15 and 25. And again, I'm going to start the same way. First, I need to find the GCF. And I know that the GCF is, the silly keyboard, there. The GCF is, well, I'm looking at 15 and 25, and I'm thinking, what is the greatest common factor that can go into 15 and 25? Well, I know 3 can go into 15, 3 can't go into 25. 15 can go into 15, 15 can't go into 25, but 5 can. So my GCF is 5. Okay, the next step is going to be the same. I'm going to put my greatest common factor outside. I'm going to set up my parentheses, and I'm going to think 5 times what number is 15? And of course, that's 3. 5 times what number is 25? And that is 5. My explanation is going to be the same that I have here. Next, I look at the 2 original numbers. To determine what times 5 is 15 and what times 5 is 25. These are the factors that are placed inside of the parentheses. Okay, my next step is going to be now distributing that 5. And I have 5 times 3 plus 5 times 5. Distribute the 5 to the 2 numbers. two numbers inside of the parentheses. Multiply these terms. And I get 15 plus 25. 15 plus 25 is 40. Okay. Add the numbers to, actually I'm going to use, instead of numbers, products, because actually that's what I did is I multiplied, and I'm going to take this out to input products, because the result you get when you multiply is not just numbers. It has a specific name, it's products. Add the products to get 40. Now, I'm going to come back to 5 parentheses 3 plus 5. Well, 3 plus 5 is 8. So that's going to be 5 times 8. 5 times 8 is 40. Okay. Check work to see that both answers are the same. And then you're just going to continue with this process through the rest of the examples that you have here. Okay? Following the model that you see. Notice this one is subtraction. You're not going to do it any differently. You do it the exact same way. Find the GCF first. Look at the two original numbers. Decide what you would multiply the GCF by to get 15. What would you multiply the GCF by to get 3? Set up your distributive property and work it out, and then compare to make sure that both of them are the same. Okay? And that's it. Good luck.